The Wellness Show, episode number 344.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. We are now live on Facebook. This is Tyson Bannigan with The Wellness Show on health, wealth, and enlightenment. We're here with you for the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing, energy healing, and what's up in your life and what's up on planet Earth during these extraordinary times. So feel free to phone in, toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464 or 1-866-Dousing. And I'm joined today by my lovely co-host, Laura Cool.
Good morning.
Good morning. So
How
what's
are
up
you?
in your life?
Boy, we have some stuff going on here in Wisconsin. We just got extended to the end of May, and people are not happy. And so I was taking this opportunity to remind them that go back to simplicity and to make their own decisions and to follow their own truth. And there's some people who are listening and some people are just falling right into the fear, like smack dab, like, so you can just just love them and move on. But people are waking up. It's nice.
Yeah, I think
actually.
absolutely. I mean, I don't think you can lock people down for an extended period of time without having some rebellion happening all across the planet. There's just too much information coming out. The more you try and suppress the overall plan, the more, sort of like grabbing sand in your hand, the more you squeeze it, the more it all runs out between your fingers. So,
you mean water?
Yeah, who knows what story is correct? I've given up trying to figure it out. Not that I ever really was going to be able to do it. Is it Armageddon? Is it, the end of the world? Is it, is Q right? Is the White Hat's going to win the day? Is President Trump on the good side, the bad side? Who's wearing the black cowboy hats? Who's got the white hats? Who's got the pink hats? Who's doing what to whom? I have no idea. The only thing I know is every time I'm invited on a show, I say the same thing. If you can stay in your heart and be connected to source, you'll be in the right place at the right time, no matter what's happening, right? Whether it's the end of the world, Armageddon, the second coming of Christ, or the beast, or the end times. Well, the one thing that's exciting is it has been foretold and all the prophecies on the planet that this is the time. And guess what? We all put up our hand and said, "Hey, I want to be part of this," and chose to incarnate, and here we are. So,
have you ever done a head slap when those?
Yeah, right.
What was I thinking?
Yeah, but doing a head slap isn't going to help, right?
I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little.
A lot of people need to slap their head to wake up. But once you're awake, slapping your head doesn't help at all. It just hurts. It just hurts.
Not any more than some. Never mind. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, my whole life I wanted them to come and pick me up and take me home, but nobody showed up. So
I know. I've been asking that for a long time. Come on. I'm not scared. Let's go.
All right. So here we are. So I put 2 posts in the Dousing and Energy Healing group this morning. I found really quite interesting that happened to come across my desk, so to speak. I don't know if I can go and find them. One of them had to do with the whole idea behind magic. And that magic is, the more you practice magic, the simpler it becomes and the easier it is. The whole ritual becomes less and less complicated. And that's really what goes on with dowsing and energy healing. When you first start to do this, it seems really quite complicated. And, do you hold your pendulum this way and do you do it that way? And, what's going on? But the more you do it, as we say, really consistently, is the easier it becomes. So I said in this little, so it says, the more advanced one becomes as a magician, the less ritual is needed, and the more magic becomes a science of the mind. Every ritual, be it complex or simple, involves a point of pure magic in which an empowered image or intention is released towards its destination. The purpose of ritual is to direct and intensify the mental imagery. We cannot but do magic once we can steadily hold an image or a thought form. When we want something, we constantly impress it onto the fabric of space-time. It doesn't matter whether we do it as a ritual or not. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't matter whether we do it consciously or subconsciously. If you're not awake, you're doing this subconsciously 24/7. So, whether you're aware of doing this or not aware of doing that, it is happening. So the whole basis of magic and dowsing is put yourself in the driver's seat. So who's the boss? Laura, who's the boss?
Spirit is right now.
Yeah, everybody is their own boss. And when somebody's behind the driver's wheel, right, with the intention, and then magic can happen according to your own intentions, not according to the underlying agenda of whoever's trying to drive you a bus with you on board, or anybody else who's trying to infringe on your energy field or redirect your bus or whatever. You're in control.
Yeah.
So
I get angry about it and just take the wheel and keep on driving. You're
that's
good.
right.
Keep on making your own decisions and stop letting somebody else tell you what your truth is. If it doesn't feel good in your heart, it's because it's not your truth. If it makes you angry, it's because it's not your truth.
Yeah, and the best thing is don't fight them. I mean, if somebody's driving your bus and you start to wrestle the wheel from them, you're going to have a crash landing. So just stop the bus and ask them to leave. That's it, right? Stop the bus, pull the cord or whatever needs to be done to train you. You pull the emergency cord in a bus. It's a little hard to get the bus to stop. But once you get the bus stopped, you just ask the driver to leave. So it goes on to say, this means until there is sufficient personal development, not very much is going to happen with ritual. The more able one becomes at working magic, the less one feels the need for ritual, which comes to dowsing. And we keep saying, keep it simple. And yes, in the beginning, it can be quite complex, but the type of healing that we're trying to teach you here in dowsing is, after you learn how to do the basics, then it becomes simpler and simpler and simpler, and then it just becomes second nature. The point is that advanced adepts does not work, merely observes the universe unfolding according to his or her vision of the divine plan. The point is that the advanced adept does not work, but merely observes the universe unfold according to his or her vision of the divine plan. And even more courageous of that is there is no personal plan, that you surrender to the universe and the divine, and you're excited and overwhelmed by the magnificent beauty of what shows up in your life. Because then you're at the right place at the right time, and you're not trying to direct the bus, right? It's sort of like, if you're not letting spirit direct the bus, it's like you're getting off the bus and then pointing the direction you want to get on, and then getting back on the bus and then trying to drive. You're trying to do two different jobs at the same time. Your job is to drive the bus, and the universe is going to be giving you the road map. So anyway, that's my little take for today. I love this post. So the basis of ritual, the basis of alchemy is what you're learning when you join us and learn about dowsing and energy healing. So there you are. And the second quote, and I love the way the two quotes came together, is, gratitude opens every door to miracles. So the attitude of gratitude is your ability to work with source consciousness to accurately douse and help others heal. And the more that you have gratitude for what is granted unto you, the more you are gifted that ability to do. Put the two together and you have the basis of what we're trying to teach you in the master course of dowsing and energy healing. That's it in a nutshell.
And you can't have a bad attitude when you're in gratitude.
Well, you could, but it's not going to help. It's going to really mess up. Well, it's going to deliver you a bad attitude, right?
I think then you might not be doing your gratitudes correctly.
Probably not, right? Yeah. It's, if you could take every complaint you have and turn it around. So one of the things I'm finding myself is I took my, I have this book of gains that my coach is encouraging me to do, which is really another way of saying the positive side of manifestation, what's showing up in my life spontaneously, or what I've actually ordered from the universe.
Mhm.
I don't order very much more from the universe because I'm getting delivered things that I didn't even know I ordered. And that's far more exciting to me. I like surprises. I like surprise gifts, right? I don't know about you, but I love to have a gift that I don't know what it is. So, if I'm ordering all the time.
You don't know you're getting it.
What?
You don't know what you're getting now that you don't know what your gift is.
Well, the beauty is, everything's a surprise. Everything's a gift. So one of the big changes for me was to take, my mortgage, which is like one of these fat 6-figure numbers, right? It's completely scary. I put it in the gains book. Because why did I put it in the gains book? Because without that ability to borrow that huge amount of money, I wouldn't be living in paradise. So I have to be grateful for that mortgage. That mortgage allows me to do things that I couldn't do if I didn't have the chutzpah or the ability to have that mortgage. So rather than a negative, it's a positive. It's allowing me to have this experience here on earth. And what
and
could
to
be
share
better
it with
than
others
that?
too.
What?
You share it with others too. You're so open and giving and loving. I love your heart.
So I have to love my bank. No, should the interest rates be less? Yes. Should they forego my interest rates during this time of COVID-19? Yes. Are the banks very mercenary and not here for the average person? Absolutely. That's why I'm in a local credit union. Because a credit union takes its savings and donates back to the community. And even gives me a little bonus at the end of the year from the profits it's made. So
nice.
So I really encourage you to think about this. If you're phoning your bank at this time of COVID-19 to get your loan not forgiven, but postponed.
Postponed, okay.
Yeah, you'll find out that your bank is going to say, yeah, I'll do that. But guess what? You're still going to pay your interest, and then you're going to pay your interest on your interest plus the capital that you owe us, the amount that you owe us. So you're going to pay interest twice. So you're going to be worse off than than you were at the beginning. Now, I don't know about you, but that's just not acceptable
right.
in my world.
Right.
So I think everybody should move out of a bank, which will send a message to them, and join a credit union. From there. Keep the money local. Keep the money circulating in your community.
In America, credit unions don't typically do big business, though.
Well, they do here, and most credit unions have some connection to some way of doing things internationally. But check it out. The more you,
in other words, move to Canada.
In
other words, move to Canada.
Yeah. No, that's why the border's closed.
Yeah.
We sent a message to President Trump that said, keep it up, shut that border.
So last night I looked at there's 7 states in America that aren't doing safer at home.
Yeah.
And I looked at their numbers and they were quite low, which is interesting. But of course these states have pretty low population considering to others. But it was interesting that like the ones that are seemingly more grounded are the ones that aren't doing it. And like Wyoming had some people that have COVID-19, but no deaths. At least there weren't when this information came out. So it was interesting to look because I don't generally follow anything from the news, but
right.
I wanted to know what states weren't doing it.
Right. Well, I think the thing you have to do, the statistics are all skewed anyway, but what is the per capita rate of COVID-19, but then everything's being lumped into COVID-19. So, what is COVID-19 deaths and what isn't, who knows, right? Because they don't show the figures side by side. They don't say 64 people died of an accident today, from a motorcycle accident, and 23 divided, everybody. I don't see any statistics about anybody others types of death. It's all lumped under COVID-19. So
They'll
I'm sure
sometimes
not
do it like
everybody on the planet is dying from COVID-19.
they'll sometimes do it on the Beltline here in Madison. They'll like on a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
454 deaths this year already in Wisconsin or whatever. It's never that high, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But otherwise, other than that, like we don't generally know what people are dying from.
Well, I don't know if you saw that post in the Dousing and Energy Healing of the number of deaths that are due to flu every year and other diseases and disorders. I mean, it's huge. I mean, more people,
Yeah, and the people that are generally dying, if we really look at it, are people with compromised systems already anyway. So it's not like healthy people are dropping from this. So
well, the important thing is, I think the message that we want to get out in Dousing and Energy Healing is that we want you to be healthy. This is the whole point of the Dousing and Energy Healing group is if you're healthy, both mentally, spiritually, physically, then you can be weathering any storm. And like I said, if you're one with source consciousness, you're going to be in the right place at the right time. And put the two together, then whatever's going on this crazy planet, by who's trying to do what to whom, makes little or no difference to you.
But I love it that people are getting angry and they're starting to look at things and they're asking why. For the first time ever, they're not just turning away and going, oh, whatever. They're actually starting to get upset and being like, so if this is going to keep going on, how can I do this without getting into trouble? Like, how can I run my business without getting into trouble? And I'm like, exactly. Come on, you guys, don't let them tell you what to do. Think outside the box and keep going.
Or another way of saying it is that, listen to them, but there's ways in which to do that are safe for you and your family, right? And within those guidelines, do it.
Well, yeah, think outside the box. Exactly. Like, don't be
stupid about this. I mean, we don't want you to go, sneeze all over everybody and, look for somebody who's sick to see if it's working or not. But yeah, it's exciting for me to see how many people are really doing home businesses and working from home. And I'm wondering, what does it mean for an office downtown after this is over? How many people are going to want to go back to the office, right? How many people are going to want to travel, half an hour, 3/4 of an hour commute to go to an office when they
can do it right at
when they can do it at home? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to be in an office from 9 to 5 when you can maybe do it at home in a shorter period of time? And what if the work that you did was, dependent on you get X amount of stuff to get done, and when it's done, it's done. So if you can get it done in 3 hours, you have the rest of the day you're on your own to do whatever you want to do. I mean, who says that we have to be working 9 to 5? And who says we need to be an office tower and pay all that rent and all that expense and all that buses and transportation to get there? I mean,
schools too. And think perhaps if we were to do more homeschooling, we could also bring back like athletics and art and music back into a system that would be more beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, I love the whole model that this is down in Cornwall in England. And I was my friend Satish Kumar, who in his community, they created the opportunity for their youth to be able to go learn from people in the community. So the carpenter has provided the opportunity for the young people who want to learn carpentry to go to his place and learn carpentry, and another person who's good at English is willing to teach English. And the kids, their school is just going from one household to the other. That's their school, right? And they're all taught in the community, and it's all a community network that's doing the teaching and the learning, and they're more inclined to be connected to their families and to their place of residence and to each other because it's all within the community, right?
Yeah. Tiffany Segura says, how many people will start having more emotional health now? I think too,
that's a good question. I think many people are going through going through Kubler-Ross's, 5 steps of dying, which is really the 5 steps. Actually, there's more than 5 steps, but the 5 steps, that you go through from raging at the fact that you're told that you need to be inside or that you're dying of cancer, all the way through to coming to some understanding and acceptance of it, or actually doing something about it. So I think various people are in various stages, right? I think we have to roar at times. We have to get it out of our system. I know in working with my clients that are really angry, I say, don't suppress anyone. Go roar at a tree, or go yell in the pillow, or go talk to a wall, but get it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to get it out, because those emotions suppressed is what is eating you alive inside. So I think people are at different stages in this, right? Once you've roared and you're totally exhausted, don't have any more piss and vinegar to roar, then maybe you can consider something else to do with yourself, right? When you're exhausted, lying on your back on the grass, then you can surrender and look at the clouds of the sky and maybe surrender, right?
Well, and ask yourself, why am I so blank, blank, blank?
Why was I so angry anyway?
Or hurt, or people, it's time. It's okay.
Yeah, I even though, right, that's a silly expression, but the difficulty is that we love our stories so much, and the pain and suffering, that I am unique in that my suffering is so dramatic and so unique that you, Laura, couldn't understand it. So I've got to tell you that you're not listening to the pain that I'm feeling, and you don't have enough sympathy for me,
Okay.
for my symphony of discordant notes, because I'm suffering. And you won't listen to me, so I'm angry at you because everybody isn't not being nice to me. I hear this over and over again, and I have to sort of like hold on to myself and let the person talk themselves all the way through the story, because part of the healing is knowing that somebody else is listening. I get that, yeah. Somebody needs to hear your story and know that you have told the whole story, but they don't need to hear it the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth time. Once they've heard it, right? Once somebody's heard your story, who's a healer, they don't need to hear it again. In fact, they're going to say
that again. Tattoo it on my forehead.
Right.
I don't need to hear it again.
Yeah. Once you tell somebody that you're working with your story,
Mm-hmm.
they don't need to hear it again. They've got it, right? And they've empathized with you. And if you want to trade wounds, then we'll trade you 1 for 1. So if you want to know my story, I'll tell you a story that will trump your story every time. That's why I do what I do. Look, I've been there. I've done that. My story, and I don't want to go around saying my story is better than your story. But the point is,
it's not about that.
Your story is just like anybody else's story. It's not like you don't get a gold star for your story, right? You get a gold star for getting out of your story.
God sent a message to me a long time ago that said, you cannot heal in others which is not whole within you.
Exactly.
So when you come to me, on some level, somewhere, I've gone through this.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be resonating. You wouldn't be coming to me. Exactly. Right. And that's the point. If you're phoning me, then there's some connection psychically, energetically, cosmically, I don't know, that you're phoning me. And so when I say to you, are you willing to commit to doing some work? And you say, no, I need to think about it. I'm going to tell you, well, then phone me back when you're ready. Yeah. Because it's you that's got to do the work. I'm just here to help you. Like, I can't heal you. And even if I could, I won't, because you need to heal yourself.
Thank you. Right there. Truth. Right there. You have to do the work yourself. Imagine that. I'm not going to walk behind you and every second of every day go, stop that. Nope. Don't. I don't have time for that. Right. Nobody did it for me. Did they do it for you, Ty?
No.
My voice is getting high. I got up on my soapbox. I better step back down.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the Chiron is the wounded healer. But the thing about a wounded healer is if the wounded healer still says wounded, he's no good for himself or anybody else. So
Thank you.
yeah, a wounded healer. I mean, the fact that you've suffered on this planet and you've got your hero badge by moving through it allows you to work with other people, but you need to get through it. So our job is to get you through. So when we interrupt you, I mean, I'll tell you from the get-go, I'm going to interrupt you. If you get into your story, I'm just going to interrupt you. I need your permission to do that. I need to hold your feet to the fire about, don't tell me your story. What are we going to do about it? Well, how are we going to move out of that? And please, if you've moved out of it, let go of the story. I mean, I get fascinated. We got all the way through and they understand why they incarnated, why they chose the people that they did, what it is that they're supposed to learn from that person. We get them all settled, right? Stand them in front of the mirror, and I do declare that I'm a sovereign human being. I understand that I created this situation for my own learning, and then they pull me back 2 days later, and they're back in their poor me cycle. I think, what went wrong there? What part of what you just learned or did you forget, right?
Yeah.
Look, nobody has shown up in your life that you didn't call in your life to point a finger at some wound inside of yourself that needs to be healed. Nobody can do anything to you that you didn't ask them to do for you on whatever level so that you would wake up. And that includes the boogeyman or the person or the thing that goes bump in the night under your bed when you were a kid. All of that you created for your own soul learning. So let's get the learning done, because once we get the learning done,
And
that
how about
person
we
never have to show up.
How about we stop blaming everyone else for what's going on wrong with you and start looking within yourself as to why this keeps showing up in your life?
Right. So when you're sick and tired of it showing up in your life and you done did it and there's no mattress between you and hard rock bottom, then phone us. Be prepared to do the work. So anyway, that's Laura's and Tyson's rant for the morning. So love you all on your journey back to the light. And if you need some help, then phone us and we'll help kick your butt. But that's what we're going to do. So anyway, do we have any questions out of there now that we've ranted?
Well, we have tons of responses, so I'm just going to go through a few, okay?
Okay.
Michele says, thanks to God bringing you into my life and guiding me to a higher level. I am not nearly afraid of the end of the world, just from all the old movies. They always made me nervous. Oz says, oh yes, everybody should take responsibility for themselves. Otherwise, there's resistance. That's brilliant. Lewis says he totally agrees with me, so he can be on my team. And then he said, I've spent so much money healing myself and raising my vibration. Then he says, check out Ken Dose's work regarding mortgages and the trader attorneys in cahoots with the banks stealing people's homes. He submitted paperwork too and is awaiting a resolution to the stealing of our names by patents and trademarks.
Yeah, I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole. One of the rabbit holes, and there's many rabbit holes, but one of them is that I found really interesting is how much there's Chinese investment in the United States of America, and the chief lending bank with the lowest interest rates, which I think is, I should be careful what I say, but I think it's Wells Fargo, or one of the lenders, is actually owned by one of the top Chinese officials in the Chinese government, and so they have the lowest lending rates for mortgages. And when you can't pay your mortgage because of COVID-19, guess what? They can buy all of that on dollars, on pennies for the dollar.
Yeah.
And so part of the whole thing of bankrupting America by whoever is bankrupting America and why your president is so upset is the bankrupting of America as part of the agenda to get more of the assets that can be controlled. And China is one of the major ones that wants to control American assets, because then it can dump all the dollars because it's got the actual physical buildings and properties and assets that America is a fundamental support of the economy of America that will be owned by the Chinese. I mean, this is. Yeah. So come on, wake up, everybody, wake up.
That's my thing that I've been saying all day long. I've been just going, one person after the other, after the other, after the other. It's like, it's time to wake up. I know you're angry. It's time to wake up.
Yeah.
I know this doesn't seem fair, but you gotta stop blaming the government for what you have control of right now.
Exactly.
Control your own life.
Exactly. If you don't become a sovereign human being, how can you expect to have a sovereign government? I'll say it again. If you're not a sovereign human being, how can you expect to have a sovereign government? You don't even know what it is to recognize a sovereign government because you're not a sovereign human being, because you're still stuck on your own crap. And you'll see that crap in your government and you'll say, well, the Republicans should have been like the Democrats, or the Democrats are going to say the Republicans are good God. I mean,
Right, they're just fighting with themselves, back and forth in their brain.
That's right.
Could you imagine them in the shower? And another thing, and then yelling at their
I
wife.
told you so. I told you so.
That's SOB did this to the government, and what are we gonna?
And if the government just, if the government, we need to give the government more authority. If they were in control, they would straighten this out. Yeah, well, sign away your house, sign away your mortgage, sign away your rights.
Give it to them, baby. Give it to them,
right?
Yeah, give it to them.
See if they're going to do any better in your sovereignty. You will no longer be a sovereign citizen. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. And is there any questions out there?
Well, Debbie Summers says, I'm never going back. I will only move forward. Thank you for your support, Laura.
Yeah, we're going forward together.
Yeah.
Let's lock arms and move forward.
And there is no demons. I don't agree. Reptile ants, like Republicans, reptile ants.
Reptilians.
And democrats. Louis, I don't know. I think that it would be high, like that's just the system in which we've created. I don't know. I can't get into the political part of this. I just can't.
It doesn't matter.
Too much of a.
Look, when I started to do the deep clearing protocol, I was so angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like at 15, 20 years ago, if you'd said that there was entities and ETs and other discarnate beings that could inhabit a human body, I'd say you're nuts. You're absolutely out of your tree. That's not possible. Mm-hmm. And when I found out that that is true, I was really, really angry. How dare they, right? So I got Archangel Michael in there and I sliced and diced with his sword and I chopped and hacked. And, who are these people and who the hell did they think they are and where did they come from? And, how's the Dark Lord and the Overlord and the Underworld and I was down the rabbit hole and in the war and I was in, we could have written a video game about what I was doing, right? It would have been a bestseller, it's me.
Dude, I'm telling you, we've got to write a movie about the things we've done. I know, we'd be a bestseller.
Yeah. And then finally I said, wait a minute here. Who cares? Who cares whether they got 6 legs or they're from Tarantula or, or they're from the second moon of Saturn or whatever. I just don't want them in my body and I don't want them in other people's bodies. So the same thing in the controlling of this planet. I don't care who you are or where you're from, or you're the second cousin to Satan himself, or, from the third moon, or whether you're from planet X, or whether you're reptilian or, whatever. I don't want you messing with my planet. So it's just that simple. I don't care who you are, what you're doing, or who you think you are,
Just
you're getting out of here.
Out. Just get out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go away.
And the beauty of this is there's nothing that you have to do about that. If you're a sovereign human being and in your truth, you'll be in the right place at the right time. You'll find the right people, and there'll be enough people that are speaking their truth that energetically they wouldn't even have to go out and pick it on the street. Do you understand that? They wouldn't even have to go and pick it on the street. They wouldn't have to do anything because the energy would be so strong that the forces of whoever they be couldn't do anything.
Yep.
There'd be nothing to manipulate. So we don't care who you are.
Mm-mm.
Just on notice that you're going to go to the light. Bye-bye. All right. So we don't care. All those reptilians, and I may have to hide my own tail as well because who knows, I may have some reptilian blood in me as well, right? But I got to clean up my act. just like everybody else on the planet.
And the thing is that the more that I'm confronted with things too, the quicker I'm flying through it now. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Nope, don't want to do it. Nope, not falling into that trap again. Even though you have to stop and think about it for a little bit. And that's where the awareness is coming in. And then you're choosing a different path. So when there's uncomfortableness or I'm like, not feeling, I'm feeling, I'm like, okay, how can I make it go back into my heart and feel good again? Am I going to continue to be angry and full of discord? Or am I going to go back, sit in my heart, relax, figure out what I did to create this, and then let it go and move forward?
Yeah, absolutely. And the more people that do that, the more the energy on the planet changes.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just helping.
Yeah, just do your bit. Yeah.
Yep. One person at a time.
So don't forget, you can phone in toll free 1-866-369-7464 and stop us ranting by asking us a really intelligent question. Well, it doesn't have to be intelligent. You can ask them anything.
Can we ask these people what they're doing outside of what they're choosing to do outside the box?
Sure.
What are y'all doing?
Yeah, what are you doing to make yourself feel loved and secured and okay and safe in your home?
And in your life or your business?
Your yeah. And how are you using COVID-19 to change your life for the better?
What have you
the stories that I'm hearing are just really, really amazing what people are doing to help each other. It's just like really inspiring.
Share it. Can you share it?
Well, there's younger people that have decided that they're going to phone up all the elderly on their block and they're going to go and buy all the groceries. So they spend the whole day doing all the shopping for all the seniors. They put them all in different boxes and sort it all out for everybody and put that on their front door. I mean, to me, that's amazing.
And that's no small feat.
No, that's like a whole, that's amazing what they're doing, right? And they're doing it out of their heart because they want to help, right?
Yeah.
I love the fact that some are going to the senior citizens and standing outside and playing music, and because they know their loved ones like music. I like the sign on the senior citizen home that says FaceTime, and there's a big window, and you get chairs to sit in outside, and your loved ones on the other side of the window, right? And you're talking to them on the phone. I love the fact that there's a neighborhood where they are saying the theme for today is clouds. So everybody plates clouds and puts it in their window. And then everybody takes a walk and sees who did what paintings about clouds, right? So there's all these variation. Every house has clouds, right? So they have a theme for the day. So when the kids go out walking, they can find, it's like an Easter egg hunt. Oh, look at that house over there and the clouds that they designed over there. And look at this. And, it's fun.
Did you ever see the movie Life is Beautiful? It was about a concentration camp, and the guy the man had a little son, and the little son had no idea he was in a concentration camp.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's what this kind of feels like, unless, not as like dramatic, but let's not put this in more fear into our children. Let's make it more fun. Hey, look, we get to spend all this time with mom and dad. Like, yeah, and I haven't heard of anything, people like not getting along so well that, like, have you heard anything about I
did. I'm going to say another positive one. Sarah's whole family is in England, right? And so last noon hour, they were all together, all the generations playing 20 questions, right? And the kids design the 20 questions, and everybody tries to answer it, right? All the grandpa and all the kids, and there's like 30 people, 25, 30 people, all on Zoom, meeting, and they're having this, playing charades. Only the English would do this, but they're Mad Hatters. But no, they're having so much fun, and the kids are giggling and laughing and at their parents because their parents don't know the answers to these questions, and Grandpa's got the camera upside down and doesn't know how to get on. I mean, everybody's just having a roaring good time, and family is did they do that before? No. Well, they do it after, probably because they had so much fun with each other, right? Then it may become a family tradition, right?
I'll tell you, my sister and I have been laughing like we did when we were kids. And I keep seeing it more and more and more. Because we always sat at the dinner table, and my mother is so funny. And I remember her laughing, like bending over those big old belly laughs. And now we're doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it more and more and more. And the stress level is going down and down. She's still working, and she works very hard, my sister, but the lightness of her heart is starting to shine through now.
And isn't this the beauty of all of this, is that if we can come to resolution with our family. I mean, the whole basis of Confucian and Taoism is the family unit. The whole I Ching, the Book of Changes, is based on the family unit. It's called filial piety. If you're not understanding how to treat your family and your ones that you incarnated with, the ones that birthed you, then you can't treat others with respect. So it always starts at home. Now, I know in North America that we can get really angry at our mommy and daddies, and we want to have a violent reaction that my mommy didn't do this or my daddy didn't do it. Poor me because I was raised in a horrible situation. Get over it. By resolving your situation with your family and loving for your family, hey, I'm from the 70s. I was so pissed off at my family, I changed my name. All right, I changed the spelling of my name. So I get that, what it's like to have a family that's so dysfunctional, you want nothing to do with it. But my healing, personally, goes back to my family and coming to resolve all that. The fact that I was placed in an orphanage, right? And that my grandma and grandpa had to come and get me, right? Mm-hmm. That I had to live in a house beside my grandpa who was dying of cancer. And as a kid, I had to shut up because grandpa's dying in the next room. And I know in my heart, my grandma didn't want me there. I mean, she was way, way over the top trying to take care of grandpa. And here's this little kid that doesn't know how to be quiet, being a kid, right? It must have been hell for her, right? But she did what she was called to do. And even if it was difficult for me as a kid, I have to be grateful for that. I have to be grateful. My grandma went out on a limb in ways that, nobody asked her to. She could have justified leaving me there. But I know my grandpa couldn't. I know my grandpa just couldn't do it. Even though he was dying, he said, you go get that kid. I don't know that he said that, but if I tune into it, I'm pretty sure he said, you go get that kid. I don't care what you do, and go get him now. Okay. So thank you, Grandpa, and thank you, Grandma, for making the sacrifice that you did, right? And yes, it was crazy making, but it was what I needed to learn, right? So. And
them too.
Yeah, and them too, right? To find that in their heart, in the middle of all their pain and suffering and death, to be able to say, we got to get this kid.
But family is family.
A family is family. So I don't care how dysfunctional it is or whether they are brothers addicted on heroin or whatever. That's your family. And that's what you need to come to terms with. And in coming to terms with that, you can come to terms with the family of humanity. And if you don't do it at the family level, you can never do it at the larger level. You're always going to be a victim, and it's always going to be somebody else's fault, right?
You're making me cry.
Yeah.
The truth.
It's true. It's true. And this is the thing that, look, if I wanted to destroy America and I was an evil son of a bitch, right? The first thing I would do is destroy the family. I'd destroy the family unit. Because that's the fundamental underpinning of the American culture, is the family. Oh, I would say, no, you don't have time to do this. You have to put your senior citizens in a home because you're too busy. We want you to work. And both of you have to work and to support a livelihood, which doesn't have enough money to put bread on the table. So you're going to have to put all your elderly, who should be respected for who they are and the wisdom they brought you, right? And should be telling your grandchildren stories, right? Because it's a safe place to go when mommy and daddy are pissed off at you. You go and be with grandpa, who's going to spoil you, or grandma who's going to read you a story, or hold your hand, or tell you it's okay, or give you a candy when you're not supposed to have a candy. Come on. And what do? You put them in a senior citizens home behind a locked door, right? And maybe you have time to visit them, maybe you don't. Hey, am I perfect at this? No. Do I need to be phoning my two sons and asking how they're going on? Yeah. I mean, we all have to work at this. Nobody's got this perfect, but this is a fundamental problem here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're making me cry
Just the way it
today.
is.
Hi, I just, yeah, you're touching my heart. And when you touch my heart, I know you're touching humanity's heart. So what you speak is truth. When you touch my heart, it's the truth speaking through. And family is so important. What else is there if not family? What else
Yeah.
is there?
And and I know, I mean, I'm going to say, Lewis, and I know you're listening, but I love you dearly. You got to get out of that your family's doing this and doing that and doing whatever. They can't listen to you. You can't tell your family anything. The only thing you can do is act differently yourself. You have to be the leading light. You have to be the living example. It doesn't come from your words. It doesn't come from you preaching. It doesn't come from you shaking your finger or even saying sarcastic things like I tend to do, even with those that I love. It doesn't work. Either you're the living example or the embodiment of what you want, or they don't get it. So you become the wordless sutra. No words, just you being you. You being the dominant energy in the family, and everything else will adjust to you.
One of my first teachers, I was judging somebody, and she sat and looked at me, and she didn't say a word. And I got really uncomfortable, and I was like, why are you judging me? And she just sat there and looked at me, and what it was is she was just mirroring back to me how me judging that other person felt for me.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And I've done it in my own work with other people and have found that uncomfortableness that sinks in, that what you speak of, like.
Yeah. So we had a little comment from Matt there flashing on the screen.
Yeah, and we have another question from Sherry Catlin too.
Okay.
And he says, thank you guys, family. Wow, I needed that. Yeah, we definitely need family. There's nothing more important when it comes down to it.
And why do we call it the family of humanity? No different.
None. So Sherry Catlin says, can you help me by taking a negative force that holds me back? It's a karma that's been put on me for many years. Sherry Catlin in Madison.
All right. So why are you letting a negative karma from a past life hold you back?
There's no power there within.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So why would you imagine something outside of yourself, or why would you give something outside of yourself power to hold you back?
Keep going.
I mean, that's the fundamental question. I mean, why would anybody do that? Because there's something inside of yourself that doesn't feel loved, and you're giving your power away. If you loved yourself unconditionally and all the lumps and bumps that you be you, then there's nothing to give away. Because there's no shame, there's no guilt, there's no fear, there's no doubt, and there's no way that anybody can get at you. Only way anybody can get at you is because there's some unresolved conflict or trauma that's inside of you that needs to be healed. So they're poking a finger at you and saying, hey, wake up. And you're saying, no, you're hurting me. And they're saying, well, wake up. And you're saying, no, they hurt me. But you won't deal with the issue. The issue is inside of you. All right, this is from Augusta. Hello, this is the Tyson, and this is the Wellness Show. You're live on the show. And who are we talking to?
Hi, Tyson. This is Linda. Hi. This is just a technical thing, but real quickly, your part 3 is going to start for me anyway in an hour, and I haven't received the link in.
I will give you the link in. Okay. We love you, and we'll see you on that course, and we'll make sure that you get it. Okay.
Okay, great.
And you can always, if you don't get it for whatever crazy reason, you can right near the hour, you can phone me and I'll give it to you over the phone. Okay. And that's everybody on this call. We're an hour away from having a 2-hour class on the deep clearing protocol and how to shift the timelines of control. So this is coming up at 10. If you've already paid for it, then let me know. And if you don't have the code to get in or the Zoom link. And if you've already paid for this, one of them.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, and
I
so,
have already paid for it.
right,
Yeah.
great. So I'm just talking to everybody else. Do you have a question while you're here?
No, I'm just really looking forward to the part 3.
All right, we're gonna get you in there. We're gonna get you in there. Okay, and you can tell, do you have any other friends that were part of this? Do you know?
No, I don't know anybody else.
All right, you don't know anybody else. Okay. Well, the message to everybody else is if you've already paid for one of the, once or twice for it, you can get into this one for free. So this is a freebie. So, and if you did,
Oh, really?
no, but that's okay. I love you. Look, I have to put bread on the table. So if you're paid for 3, I'll just give you a big hug.
I didn't do part 1, so maybe I can get part 1.
You'll get part 1 for free. How about that? Okay.
Oh, wow, you're a gem. Okay.
I know. I'm just way too compassionate, and I'm giving away way too much. But anyway, all right. See you soon. All right. Bye bye.
In an hour. Thanks so much.
Bye bye. Okay. So yeah. So there's part 1, part 2, part 3 of the basic dowsing and energy healing, which is really about the deep clearing protocol, and then we're moving on to clearing the timeline of control for the planet. Because as I said, if you can't clear yourself and be a sovereign human being, and then you can't work with your family. And if you can't help clear your family, then you can't work with the family of humanity. And then we're taking you up through these, layers of the onions from you to the planet. And so we hope you'll join us on this journey, because I don't know about you, but I want to bring about the new planetary timeline that has to do with universal peace and heaven on earth.
Yes.
And anything less than that, I'm not interested in. I don't care who has what agenda from whatever space-time continuum, alien, I don't know, reptilian agenda. It ain't going to happen in my world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I really do believe that there's many timelines. Okay, and those that insist in fear, doubt, and shame and want to be vaccinated and all the rest of it, you have a timeline. And you'll have that timeline, and nobody gets lost in this whole process, right? Everybody becomes enlightened. It just is, you want to take the long road to enlightenment or the short path? It's up to you. The choice is always yours. Okay, you understand what I'm saying, Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The short
So the long path is that I'm suffering and humanity is doing to this poor me. I need my government to solve this for me. I am a victim and I'm going to stay a victim and I'm scared to death and I'm in fear. You're on one path.
The victim mentality is like, I don't know if it's so strong or if I'm just seeing it more now. I'm not seeing it this strong in a really long time.
Well, because it's planetary wide. Planetary wide. I mean, this is what COVID-19 is all about, is the fear, right? I mean, look at it. The fear of being sick by a virus is, the fear itself is the very thing that lowers your immune rate, right?
Yes.
It just, it's like,
That's so simple.
hey, if I was going to design something to control the planet, I couldn't come up with I could have come up with something better. I would have had a more killing virus. This one's way too weak, you guys.
Could have done better, damn it.
Could have been better. You're going to be demonic, get out with the program. No, I mean.
They forgot to call us.
Oh, we're bad.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. Anyway.
That was a bad joke, but I'm still giggling, right?
Well,
So how can you co-create an extraordinary life for you, your family of origin, your star family, and your soul family that you've incarnated to do this work, because you're the vanguard of 164,000 plus souls that are riding on your coattails for you to get your job done. So why did you show up on this timeline? What are your unique gifts? What are your superpowers that you're here to deliver to the world? Because now's the time to wake up and deliver them. It's not tomorrow morning. It's not next year. It's like right now. I mean, this is the wake-up call. Humanity, you have a chance here. Do you want to go down the tube like every other civilization before you? Or are you going to stand up and be the change that you want to see in the world? That's your choice. I can't see the time. How are we doing for time?
We have 4 minutes left.
4 minutes. Okay, time for another call. 1-866-369-7464.
I was kind of hoping Sherry would call in so that we could talk to her more about that negative force that she believes is holding her back from all this karma that she believes that she has.
Yeah.
I really wish she would call in.
Yeah, and we don't. I'm hopefully people don't understand that we're not trying to be callous by saying, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" And look, both of us have been attacked by some of the most vicious entities, discarnate, or however we want to lay them, entities on the planet. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this work. We've been there. We've done that. We got the T-shirt, and I can tell you, it wasn't pretty.
Well, God had to test us to say, "Are you really on my side?" Because He's been fooled before.
Yeah,
and He tests us.
And I'm talking about, for me, near-death experiences. I mean, waking up over it and saying, the first question I said, am I alive or dead? Because I couldn't tell. Okay. So this is serious stuff. No, I don't, I want you to know I get it. This is scary shit. This is overwhelming stuff. So it's not as though we don't have compassion for you, but at some time, enough is enough. At some time, you have to pull down the light of who you be from whatever dimension that you may have gone to, or who you be right here. I don't care if you call on Jesus, Muhammad, the Buddha, all of them, all the light beings, all your angelic forces, God himself, but you got to pull the light down and stand in your truth and say, enough, enough. I'm a sovereign human being and you have no right in my life to touch me in any way, and you have to be prepared even to die in that moment. If you have to take my life, then now's the time. Take my life, because I'm going to stand in the light no matter what. Okay, so now's your time. If you're going to do it, if you got all this power to make me commit suicide or make me sick or whatever you think that you're going to do, I'll do it now, right now. Otherwise, get thee behind me, Satan. You're out of here.
Yep.
And if you're not that strong, they're going to come right back. Now, I don't know how to get that idea across, right? This is not
you said it yesterday. You said it yesterday, and you're saying it again today. Stand up, take your power back. Nobody else is going to do it for you, sister. You got to do it yourself. You got to make the hard decisions and say, get out, stop messing with me, and then it will happen, regardless if it's a demon or a drug abuser. Tell him to get out.
Yeah, the path out of an addiction or the path out of a possession is no different. At some time you've had it. And when you've had it, like if you're a smoker, and you've just had it, you stop smoking. You go cold turkey. So when are you ready and willing to go cold turkey? When are you ready to step into your power and say enough is enough?
Yeah.
Hi, Lois. How are you?
Hi, Tyson. Thanks for picking up. I know it was late. Mom called me, just worried about what's going on here, but I just wanted to chip in. I felt this huge energy as I tapped into the show, and then started feeling a little more overwhelmed. And wonder what that all about. I know it was a little back and forth there.
Yeah, the only way you can get overwhelmed is you're in your head.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure something out. There's nothing to figure out. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do. Lois, you know how to do energy healing. You know how to stand in your truth. You know that when you do that, everything shifts, and that's all you have to do. Everything else is up to.
There was a little residue over a little blowout I had with the wife because, I know she's under a lot of stress, and I'm not getting there, and I'm staying outside of everything, like you said. A good reminder to stay out.
Yeah, but it's not your job. It's not your job to try and get anybody to do anything.
Right.
It's your job.
And a lot of times that when because he's talking about too about what you said yesterday to him, and that kind of that backlash too, it kind of gets worse before it gets better. I think that's what he's feeling. Like,
Did you were able to hear that? Good.
No, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
All right, say it louder there, Laura.
oh, I got to say it again.
Yeah.
So what you? It's
Can you hear her?
Hard
Can
for
you
me
hear
to be loud.
What she said is that it could get louder and it could be more difficult before it gets better. But the point is that, and if I wanted to keep you off course, I would just screw you around and make you believe that you can't do it. And really, that's your test. Your test is to stand in the truth of who you be, no matter what's going on, no matter there's hellfire and damnation, whether there's a volcano under your feet or there's an earthquake coming. You have to be in your heart no matter what. And when you are, you'll find exactly the right words to say at the right time, or it could be that you say nothing. And saying nothing is the right thing to do. If
When
you're
I was-
trying,
That's what I've been doing. I got word yesterday from the agency. They increased the hours for my father-in-law when he's released for 24 hours. He was only getting like not even 30 hours. And so that's a good, actually 30 hours he was getting of home health aid. So that was a very good thing. And I started that, I inquired on Monday and I got it resolved by Thursday. So, there was some very good satisfaction of knowing that he's going to have 24/7 care.
right.
Because that was part of the biggest neglect, in the whole situation and why everything all hell broke loose, with his condition. So now, actually my son is the one that has said, thank you, for doing that.
But let me ask you this, Louis, what if you never had to do any of that? What if you just asked that it be done? You didn't have to make any phone calls. You didn't have to bother anybody, but emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually, you asked that to be done, knowing it would be done, and you'd find out after the fact that it was done.
Yeah. I had to call to different places, physically, verbally call. But yes, I know I have that power.
That's what I'm asking you to do. The other way is really difficult and time consuming, and if you feel you got to do that, by all means do it. But what we're trying to, when the whole...
I know I'm serious, guys. There's been a much subdued environment with the chat that they have going on. Like I've heard that they want to do more prayer because that's what I've been pushing with the brother-in-law who lives with them.
Yeah, but you're trying to push. You're trying to push people around. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that in your family. You have to be the living example of doing what you want them to do. And they'll say, what are you doing? And at that point, when they say, what are you doing? You can ask them, you can tell them because they're ready to hear the answer. Until they ask you what you're doing, there's nothing you can say to them in any way, shape, or form that they're going to listen to.
Thank you.
I mean, it's just like, I'll say it crudely, it's just like peeing up against a wall. It doesn't, it's not doing anything. Sorry to be
Gonna splatter back onto you.
it's like blowing in the wind. It's,
Yeah, it's like paying for air.
yeah.
This is what I keep getting,
The beautiful thing about this is you're willing to learn this, right?
Yeah.
You're willing to let us stomp all over you in a loving way and say, we're really dealing with all your yes buts that are running all over the place. And we're saying, no more yes buts. Just do it. You've got the wherewithal to do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be showing up and asking us to kick your butt so that you can be in the truth of who you are.
Over and over and over.
Yeah.
Over and over and over.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, you love you and thank you for phoning in. All right.
Thank you. Love you all.
All right, bye-bye.
So this is what I kept getting when he was talking. When I went to Brazil, I went to this huge waterfall, and standing right near the waterfall, I mean, it was powerful. If I reached out my hand, I would have been gone forever. And right next to it was this pool of water, that the only thing that was really disturbing it were little droplets from the big going over. And I'm thinking, that's me. That's where I want to be. America is like that. And I'm like, over here, this small little pond, like so could be in a matter of seconds just taken away, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And how many times did God tell me, or you, like, there's going to be tornadoes all around you, and there you will be, completely fine and safe. People, you're safe. Everyone's fine, exactly the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's different, except for what?
Tell us. Lay it on us. Get that pulpit out and tell us.
I'm telling you, like,
The Lord said.
Go within and settle down.
Yeah, go within and settle down.
Now, like.
All right. I think we're near the top of the hour.
And we're done.
And Laura's done.
I'm done.
She just undid it. Okay.
Thank
All
you
right,
for
love you
letting me
all.
say that.
We're back same time, same place tomorrow.
No, Monday.
No, on Monday. So
Friday,
you have to
darling.
wait 2 days before you get your butt kicked. But if you're courageous enough, give us a phone call and we can help each other kick our butts into the new age.
And it's not too late to join our class in 1 hour.
In 1 hour. And if you didn't get, so jump over there to the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy, pay your $44. And if you've already been in the course before, then you can tell me after the fact. We'll do a refund and we'll straighten you out. But anyway, just get in there. Just get it done, okay? See you in an hour.
$44 for how long?
For 2 hours.
But, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just do it. Okay? No excuses. All right. See you in an hour. Bye for now.
Good night or goodbye.
No, good morning. Anyway, bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.